Have you ever stopped to wonder what power lies in a simple answer? What if the word you spoke to a stranger shaped your destiny forever? In Umuagu, a quiet town where secrets walked in daylight, a young man learned that giving directions could open doors that should never be opened. His name was Chidi, and this is his story. Umuagu's market square bustled with life. Women called out the prices of tomatoes and smoked fish. Goats bleated as children chased them, and the air carried the sweet, sharp aroma of roasted maize. Chidi, a tall, slender youth, worked at his mother's store selling palm oil. Life was simple, predictable, until the day the stranger came. He wore a long, hooded cloak that seemed too heavy for the blazing sun. His smile looked wrong, too wide, too knowing. When he lifted his head, his eyes glowed faintly like embers hidden in ash. Chidi, unaware of the danger, smiled politely. "Excuse me," the stranger said in a voice smooth as river stones. "Can you show me the way to the shrine of forgotten names?" Chidi frowned. He had never heard of such a place. "But sir, no shrine like that exists here." The stranger leaned closer, his grin spreading. "Ah, but you know the road to Nokedi's compound, don't you?" Chidi nodded. Everyone knew Chief Nokedi, the wealthiest man in Umuagu. "Yes, I can show you. Go straight down this path, past the Iroko tree, then turn right by the well." The stranger's eyes flashed. He thanked Chidi, bowed slightly, and walked away. That night, Chidi's life began to unravel. The moon rose blood red over Umuagu. Chidi woke to a scream tearing through the night. Villagers rushed out with lanterns, only to find Nwokedi's compound in chaos. His servants wailed, his wives beat their chests, and his eldest son shouted, "Our father is gone! He vanished from his bed!" Whispers spread quickly. Some claimed Nwokedi had been taken by spirits. Others swore an enemy poisoned him. But Chidi remembered the hooded man's grin, his glowing eyes, and the directions he had given. He lay awake until dawn, his chest heavy with dread. Had he unknowingly guided evil to Nwokedi's house? The next day, the market was alive with rumor. Women bent low over baskets of pepper and spoke in hushed tones. "It is abomination," one said. "A man does not vanish without a trace." Another whispered, "I heard a stranger came to town, a hooded man." Chidi's hands trembled as he arranged palm oil bottles. He tried to ignore the talk, but his mind replayed the moment he pointed the way. Then an old woman shuffled close, her eyes sharp like a hawk's. She bought nothing, only murmured, "Young man, words are paths. Once given, they cannot be taken back. Pray yours have not led you into darkness." Chidi's heart pounded. Who was this woman, and how did she know? That evening, ancestral drums echoed across the village. The chief priest announced that divination had been cast. Nwokedi was not dead, but trapped between worlds. His spirit had been taken by one who feeds on names and directions. The priest warned. Someone opened the door. That person's fate is tied to Nwokedi's disappearance. Until the wrong is righted, Umuagu will know no peace. Chidi's blood ran cold. He felt the villagers' eyes linger on him, though no one accused him aloud. He went home trembling, afraid even of his own shadow. That night, Chidi dreamed of the stranger. The hooded man sat in Nwokedi's compound, sipping palm wine with an amused smile. Beside him lay a small calabash that whispered Chidi's name again and again. "Do you know what you have done?" the man asked in the dream. "You opened the path with your tongue. Now you too belong to me." Chidi woke drenched in sweat, gasping. He ran to the courtyard only to see something chilling. His reflection in the water pot by the well, but the reflection grinned with glowing eyes. Unable to bear the weight of silence, Chidi sought counsel from his grandfather, Umuagu. the oldest man in the family. Umuagu listened quietly, his eyes clouded with wisdom. "My son," he said, "you gave directions, yes, but do not think this is about roads. The stranger sought permission to enter. In our land, the tongue is a gate. By speaking, you granted him passage." Chidi's knees weakened. "But what can I do, Papa? The priest said the spirit devours names. Am I not doomed?" Umuagu shook his head. "Not if you learn this truth. What is spoken can be unsaid, but not with words, with silence." Chidi did not understand, but he clung to his grandfather's words. The village grew restless. Crops withered, goats died mysteriously, and children woke screaming from the same nightmare, a hooded man pointing at them. The elders began searching for someone to blame. Chidi felt the pressure tightening like a noose. One afternoon, as he walked through the market, he saw the stranger again, cloaked, smiling, eyes faintly glowing. But this time, no one else seemed to notice him. Only Chidi. The man raised a hand in mock greeting, then whispered, "Show me the next road." Fear nearly crushed Chidi, but his grandfather's words echoed, "Silence can unsay." Chidi shut his lips tight and walked away. The stranger's grin faltered. That night, the hooded man came to Chidi's dreams again. "You dare deny me?" he hissed. "Your tongue gave me power. Speak again, and I will consume you." Chidi stood trembling, but this time he said nothing. He only looked at the man, silent as stone. The calabash that had whispered Chidi's name began to crack. A second crack followed, then a third. The more Chidi refused to speak, the more the vessel broke apart. He woke at dawn to find the village strangely still. For the first time in weeks, no child cried out in the night. On the third day, the drums called the people again. This time, the priest declared, "The shadow is weakening. Someone has closed the door." That evening, Chidi faced the stranger one last time. This time not in a dream, but in the market square. People bustled around them, yet once again, none seemed to notice the hooded figure. "Give me a road," the man snarled, his eyes blazing. "Point me somewhere, anywhere." Chidi's lips stayed sealed. He clenched his fists, sweat dripping, but no word escaped. The man screamed, his body twisting like smoke in the wind. Then, with a burst of red sparks, he vanished. The market carried on as if nothing happened. Only Chidi knew the terror that had just ended. News spread that Umuagu had reappeared at dawn, confused but alive. The priest declared the danger had passed. The villagers celebrated with drumming and palm wine, but Chidi sat apart, his heart heavy. He had learned something he could never forget. Words are roads, and silence is power. His grandfather placed a hand on his shoulder. "Remember, Chidi, sometimes the most powerful thing a man can say is nothing." From that day, Chidi became known as the boy who learned the weight of silence. But deep down, he knew the stranger was not gone forever. He had only been denied for now. And so Chidi's story reminds us, not every question deserves an answer, and not every stranger should be shown the way. For sometimes, in giving directions, we open doors that should remain shut. If you want to know what happens when the hooded man returns, and he will return, stay with us, subscribe, and let the story continue.